For those of you who don't know me, a little bit of background on me. I'm the owner and founder here at 5x5, sitting in sunny Burleigh Heads here today. Back in 2021, which seems like eons ago now, I took out the Young Entrepreneur of the Year in the marketing category. Pretty proud of that. Snuck in the young category. I'm 40 plus now. I've got over 17 years of experience. We're a team of about 45. And I personally delivered hundreds of projects for some amazing clients such as Porsche, Jeep, Coral Homes. The intention for today is just to run you through some insights into the theme that we've set for the year. So I did a little bit of reflection tail end of last year. Did some analysis on what worked and really to try to set the intentions for the theme and how we're going to go and execute on some of these big, hairy, audacious goals that we've got to continue to grow the business. And it's all about just sharing. So obviously digital marketing is something that we help our clients with, but it's also something that we use to grow our business. So this is sort of trying to give you insights into that. And then ChatGPT, I'm sure everyone has heard of this maybe at this point, unless you've been living under a rock. I'm going to run through a little case study just to sort of plant some seeds and give you some ideas around how this may be useful. The reflection exercise that we did tail end of last year, probably did some silly stuff. Right. And we actually in December, I co-hosted a webinar with our CEO, Carla. So I unpacked that stuff a little bit. The general thing there was my general tendency, not only in work and business but also in life, is to just like grind through stuff, right? Like just brute force, push through it. Historically served me really well. Sometimes it's brought me unstuck. So I guess the real theme here is about working smarter, not harder. So using different tools, techniques, processes to maximize our advantage out there in the world. So that's the overarching sort of theme. In terms of some more sort of talking points around this, what's going to be important, like what's going to be really important for most businesses out there is speed of execution. And we see this just like the rapid acceleration of just the frenetic pace of life in general. It just feels like everything's getting a lot quicker, but it's the businesses that will be able to take their message as quickly as possible to market are the ones that are going to have those first mover advantages. Like you see these different tools that are coming out, specifically ChatGPT, they're going to be game changing. So especially, or game changing in a lot of different facets of the business, but especially from a digital marketing perspective. So I guess there's some of the sort of reflections or ponderings that I've been thinking about of late. So if we sort of unpack, how did 5x5 go last year? So we did around 50 projects in total. So how we've sort of evolved the business is we have a full and complete solution called The Lot, and the website is just one part of that. So we obviously helped from an asset creation perspective, so writing all the copy, making sure the strategy is sound, doing all the visual assets, so branding, photography, video, all that sort of stuff, right? So when you put all that together, the solution that we implement for our clients over a 12-month period is usually around that sort of 30 to 50K band, okay? So we delivered about 50 of those projects last year, and this is where this work came from. So we are big fans of SEO here, and we're going to see Google make a lot of changes and iterations, I think, definitely in the next short period, just with all the AI tools that are coming out. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But for now, like this is us, like this is how we're delivering value for our clients by helping their websites rank in Google. We also are beneficiaries of that. So our website performs really well. We're able to generate a bunch of leads. So 41% of our projects actually came off the back of SEO organic. We then look at the referral side of things. So this is sort of plays into the fundamental tenets of just generally trying to do good business, delivering a product of value that then people go out and tell their friends and family about, right? So a big part of that, like old school, just referrals. And this also includes some of the partnership activities that we have in play as well. We are also running a bunch of paid traffic, so we don't have a massive budget. Usually that sort of fluctuates between, say, $1,000 to $1,500 every single month. But you can see it's yielded some projects, which when you look at those numbers, is a really good return on investment from a paid perspective there in Google. And then social media. So social media has been a real sort of slow burn for us. Over the last 18 months, our marketing manager, Gabrielle, has been working really, really hard on this, just to be consistent around that. And we picked up a project off the back of that, which is awesome. So validation that the time and the effort was worthwhile. And we're also running, ads display. So that's through Google Ads and also social display stuff. And I guess like the overarching theme then here is, and we sort of touched on this with one of our colleagues, Saxon. So he runs an ads traffic agency just down there in northern New South Wales. We did a catch up back in August, and he gave this really great analogy. So I attribute this to him, where like digital marketing more and more is very much like a soccer game, where each marketing platform has its position. You've got your strikers and your defenders and your wingers and all that sort of stuff, right? And that each individual person has an objective that they're there to deliver on. And whilst the goal scorer, the one that takes all the glory, is the one that at the end gets the goal. It's the entire team passing the ball around from a digital marketing perspective, whilst defending. All players need to be on the field in flow and working together to create the winning team. So I really just like that from an analogy perspective. So I guess put some metrics behind that. We look at our conversion paths. So this is actually a report that if you've got Google Analytics set up, you can go and jump into your conversions section. So this is the older version of Analytics. It's actually being replaced with GA4. And then just go to top conversion paths. This is actually not reflective of the pie graph that I had up on my screen. Previously, this is actually for an e-commerce client. But you can see their top conversion path off the back of paid search, which makes sense because they're a product-based business. Organic search also yielded about 15% of conversions direct, so that's someone coming direct through to the website. So after those sort of top three, you then get in these different combinations and permutations of how digital marketing has then resulted in a conversion. So you can see here 2 clicks on a paid search, then a direct, an organic search, then a direct, and like they also the numbers do drop away, but you can sort of see how these different marketing channels all have a role to play, and it's these different touch points along the way that result in the outcome. So I guess in summary, and this is what my business coach says, Dr. David Dugan, the magic trick is there is no magic trick. So in terms of what is in store for 5x5, it's really doing a lot more of the same in and around consistently implementing. So one of the mindset shifts that we've had, and this is where I guess it maybe was different in years past, was never really treating us as in 5x5 as a client, as a proper client. And it wasn't until Paula, actually CEO, she's like, let's treat us as a client. Let's set us up. Let's induct us as a client. Let's go through the normal process or procedure that we would have with any other client that is paying us money to deliver a result. So that includes getting really clear on your budget, defining a budget, having a budget spend, say from an SEO perspective, a backlinking budget for us, making sure there's rhythm. So the rhythm there would be a weekly catch up in and around that, keeping each other accountable in terms of to-do lists, and then physically doing reporting. So the SEO team actually send Colour and I, the owner of the business, reports around that. So it's, I guess, a bit of a mindset shift, and you can apply that to the digital marketing space. And then it really plays into retention. So the ironic thing is most businesses actually don't need a lot of new clients. And this is sort of like, business 101, where it's like, hang on to the clients that you've got, do a good job, get a good outcome, and then really just continue to have that sort of lifetime value of the customer mindset. And that's just the old school approach, right? We've mapped out our model, and we've got some really, really specific growth plans for the next 3 years. And literally the model it's just like onboarding one client every week and minimizing the amount of churn off the back of that. And we're going to hit our goals and our targets. So that then just allows us to work backwards from like maybe an ads spend perspective. Maybe do we need to turn that up, turn that down? So there, I guess, a few of the ponderings that have been taking place in my brain, specifically over the last few weeks. One of the things that I've been playing with a lot is ChatGPT. So we came back to the office 2.5 weeks ago. This was released like back in, November, in terms of the updated version. For anyone who doesn't know, ChatGPT, it is a large language model developed by OpenAI, and it's currently in this research preview phase, which basically means it's free to use. So you can have a play around with it. It varies in terms of its speed because it has been so wildly popular. And I'll come back to this in terms of some of the areas that we're using it in. But I thought, would it be helpful if we do a little live demo? This is actually my wife's business. She has an organic day spa here at the Gold Coast. And what we're going to do, we're going to jump into ChatGPT. So this is what the interface looks like. And I am going to put in a request. So, like most businesses, you need to plan your content, and the content creation process can sometimes be a real pain. And so the command that I've given ChatGPT is, as Organic Day Spa, which specializes in natural beauty treatments, give me 12 topics to write about. And you can see here, it is cranking away. So the reason I selected 12 topics is these could be the monthly theme for the next 12 months in terms of the content that you create. And maybe, so let's have a look at this. First one, benefits of natural ingredients in skincare products. Pretty cool. Maybe essential oils is something that's not that relevant to what Louise is doing, my wife. But let's use this one as an example. And I'm going to ask it just to expand on this a little bit more. So write 5 key items for this one here. And the cool thing about it is it remembers the chat sequence. So it remembers what you've asked it and what it's produced, and is able to build on that. So I've said, write 5 key items for the benefits of using natural ingredients in skincare products. So you can see that it's building this out. Gentle and non-irritating, nutrient-rich, gentle exfoliation, safe for sensitive skin. Eco-friendly. Well, that's pretty good to me. Then what we might do is we'll say, all right, I'm digging this. I'm digging these ideas. So the next command I'll give is, as a beauty therapist, write a comprehensive, SEO-friendly, and I've said 300 words. The average blog post should be between, say, 500 to 1,000 words, in a conversational style. We want to make sure this is written in Australian English and contains a clear call to action. So I'm just going to grab this one here because we're going to talk about gentle and non-irritating. So let's punch that in. And then it gets to work. So the reason I just did 300 words is it does take a little bit of time, and that'll just that'll chip away. I guess the key points to be aware of here is that the more specific you can be in and around the questions and the instructions that you give, the better. So whether it's through metrics, whether it's through the style, whether it's through the tone of voice, what maybe you want to exclude potentially or include, the more specific you can get, the better. And you can see here that the quality of the content is pretty good, right? So there we go. In conclusion, if you're looking for skincare products that are gentle, yada, yada, yada. And then that's the tail end of the article. There you go. So that's pretty cool. Then what we might do is we want to generate 5 FAQs. So this is something that the ChatGPT does really well. If you've got a big long form article, it's actually really powerful in terms of like summarizing and pulling out sort of key points from that. And that's essentially what an FAQ is. So we want to generate 5 FAQs from the above article because, you know, most websites or pages might have FAQs. So what are the benefits of using natural ingredients in skincare products? Question and answer. So then we get that. If we're looking at this, let's write a catchy SEO-friendly H1 headline. Just need it to finish this command first. Sorry, I should have just said. I'm going to ask it to write a catchy SEO-friendly H1 headline. Cover beauty benefits of natural skincare. Say goodbye to irritation and hello to glowing skin. That's actually really good. I like that. That's cool. And then you can do a lot of SEO activities. So maybe not a title tag. It works actually really well for things like meta descriptions for specific blog posts or articles. So if you're uploading a blog post to your website, you need a meta title, meta description, all that sort of stuff. We're sort of getting a little bit of technical stuff here, even just from a customer service perspective. And I know you have a distributed team as well. Maybe sometimes responses, I know in our business, sometimes like just the quality of responses can vary sometimes. And I know you set a very high benchmark in terms of the responses and communication that you like to have with your clients. This is where the team could be sort of stress testing some of their responses, or even asking for a response to a specific email or something like that. Where we've found the most benefit from this is more in around the idea generation, which has historically been a big blockage just for anyone who's had to write copy in the past. And this is then where I was sort of going to lead the conversation, which if I just jump back into my presentation, the warning. ChatGPT may contravene Google's guidelines, i.e. web spam. And they've had a very dominant position in and around the search world. They're not going to let a tool like this come and undermine the overarching integrity of PageRank and just generally how the indexing process works. So there's going to be that. It hasn't been confirmed nor denied, but I would definitely not be copying and pasting that blog post into a website. But what I could do is I would treat it as, say, 40 to 50% written, and then go through and add my sprinkle, my zhuzh, my personality, my commentary in and around that. So that's how I would potentially use that. And really, like, where the leverage is going to come from is, as I said, around the content ideas, production. So stuff that you find is more monotonous and repeatable, and those clunky style processes can definitely benefit from that. So where we're using it, like from a marketing perspective, like I said, in the idea generation space, social media copy, customer service, so basic responding to emails, like our SEO team, there'd generally be, so you build a 100-page website, each page needs a title tag and a meta description. But of those 100 pages, maybe there's like 20 or 30 just more functional pages that actually won't have any impact from an SEO perspective, but you still need to fulfill that requirement. This is where utilizing a tool like that can literally take like a 3 or 4 hour task down to maybe a half an hour task or something like that. And then HR and recruitment. So we're actually doing a bunch of recruiting at the moment. It's like write us a position description for a sales manager, or write us a position description for a customer support agent or something like that. You go through and it just spits out all the characteristics and attributes of each one of those points. So I'm just reading your question, Mark, and I hopefully just answered that there, which is the negative effect on Google SEO as more companies start to utilize the service. 100%, mate. 100%. Like, as I said, I would not be copying and pasting that in, but where I am using it is more just to get the ideas flowing so that we can then, work that in with other processes or whatever. They're just a few of the things that have been bouncing around in my head over the last few weeks. If anyone's interested, we have our digital strategy scorecard. This will give you a bit of a cross-section as to where you stack up from a digital perspective. Apart from that, that's what I wanted to cover off on today. We're with like 25 minutes, went like that. Thanks for tuning in.